Uh, the one thing I did want to talk about today, because I think that's enough of an introduction, the one thing I did want to talk about is, well, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but they're under the same heading. I wanted to talk about a couple of card games which I recently learned how to play, and both I find to be extremely entertaining with tons of possibilities and potential to be things I would be doing on a regular basis. And the two would be Magic the Gathering and an Italian card game called Bang. So I'd known about Magic for a long time, probably since elementary school. I can't remember exactly when, but I'd always considered it something that a bunch of outcasts would do. But seeing as how I'm kind of an outcast anyway, I picked it up. Actually, a friend came over and he brought his 3,000 cards along with him, just in giant cardboard boxes, and he taught me the basics on how to play, and he also helped me build a deck. And since I am a big proponent of anything that has to do with just direct damage, like in World of Warcraft, I always love playing rogues and all that such. But I started out with a red deck, just purely red deck, and I slowly learned how to build the deck, and I'm still going to be working on it, since the first couple of times I played, I was just kind of all out attack, no worries about enchantments or artifacts or any of that sort. But over the last few weeks, I've been working on the deck a little bit, and I added in a few artifacts, including one of my absolute favorites has got to be Tornad's Crypt, which, for those of you who don't know too much about Magic, or for those of you that even do but don't know what it is, it will destroy the graveyard of your opponent. It will destroy your opponent's graveyard, which is great if your opponent has like a black deck, which is focused around resurrecting and stuff like that. But it's an awesome game, and I enjoyed it. I picked it up fairly quickly, which I think I do a lot. I pick up stuff like card games fairly quickly, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, the same guy who brought over the cards to show me how to play, he actually came over last week with a blue and white deck, I believe it was, and we were playing for about, I think, almost 2 hours before my excuse me, before my D&D group came by, or started coming by, and we had to end the game there. But it was a lot of fun because we were pretty evenly matched for the time, and I would certainly like to try and face him again with the same kind of decks. The other one was an Italian card game based on the Wild West of the mid-19th century. It's called Bang, and this was taught to me, or was shown to me, for the first time on the same day as my D&D group, which was on Saturday, so about 4 or 5 days ago. One of my friends who I don't see very often because he's going to school in Santa Cruz, but he brought the card game over to show those of us who were interested, and when we actually got the chance to look at it, there were only 3 of us left. But he showed us how to play, and it's kind of like a slightly less complicated and much faster paced version of Magic that's also combined with regular card games, in that each card that's in there has like actual card values. Like the card will be labeled as a 10 of diamonds or the ace of clubs or anything like that. And then there are all sorts of different qualities that will actually be relegated to the values of the cards. And it's kind of like Magic in that you're trying to get your opponent down to 0 health, but it's supposed to be really fun in large groups where each person has a specific person that they're trying to kill. Like if you're in a group of 6, then you have roles like a sheriff or an outlaw or a renegade. And the sheriff's job is to kill the outlaw, and the outlaw's job is to kill the sheriff or whatever, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And the main way of dealing damage is through the Bang card, which does damage to whoever you want to. But then there are a whole bunch of other different types of cards that you can use in order to avoid the damage. Like there's a miss card which says any person who tries to attack you will automatically miss and they won't receive damage, and all sorts of stuff like that. and it's a very fast-paced game. It was a little complex at first because of all of the different icons that are presented on each of the cards. But after a couple of games, I really got the hang of it, and we were going at a pretty fast pace throughout after that. And one of my favorite moments with that was when it was just myself and the guy who brought the game. We were having a duel, just the two of us. And oh no, oh yeah, I was. But anyway, I put down a type of a dynamite card, which basically says you have to draw a card at the beginning of your turn, and if it's between a specific number of cards, the dynamite explodes and you take 3 damage. But if it's any other card, then you're fine. And this had been passed back and forth probably 6 or 7 times without either of us getting hit with it. And at one turn, I had actually pulled another dynamite card, so I laid that on in play. So we had 2 dynamite cards being passed and forth at the same time, and it was ridiculously fun. I think we probably passed the 2 cards back and forth maybe another 2 or 3 times before the other guy eventually pulled a bad card and exploded and died. But it's both games are a lot of fun, and I really do enjoy them both. And I'm definitely going to see if I can get a bang card set. But the main card set that comes in a really cool bullet casing, giant bullet casing, it costs $40. So at the moment, I'm probably not going to get it. But once I come across another $40, I might consider doing that. Magic, on the other hand, I enjoy it, but I'm not really sure if I would want to be buying, many thousands of cards just to sift through them, just in order to find 1 or 2 that I actually would really like, or building a deck out of 50 cards or whatever. I think the deck I had now is something like 100 cards or something. I haven't counted actually, but I don't really want to buy them right now. But I'm definitely going to start looking through the cards that my friend left over here and see if I can start building a different deck to see whether or not I can actually build something on my own. Well, I suppose that's going to be it for today. I only really wanted to talk about the card stuff, and I've been talking for almost 15 minutes without stopping, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So, for now, I'm going to end this issue of Random X Radio version 2.0, and I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you next time.